guys, Dirk here, Freedom Lifestyles Academy. This video is about Jarvee settings, the best settings you can use in 2019 and the best settings for beginners if you just get started. And this is about take 4. I'm living in Costa Rica and it happened already 2 times that my power failed and I was shut off and I had to redo the whole video. But hey, I'm still excited. I want to show you that. And the reason why is because, you know, I personally get a lot of messages almost on a daily basis. Hey Dirk, what settings are you using? How does it work? And what can I do to improve my business and so on. So let's hop over to Jarvee and I'm going to show you the exact settings that I'm using. So welcome back. In this lesson here, I'm going to talk about the best settings you can use for Jarvee when you just get started. So what I want to do is I'm working here on in a Jarvee account from a client, and I'm just building this up and changing the names. And as you can see here, you know, the weird names here, I create these accounts in Global Tools. And if you want to learn exactly how to do that, you know, that is a different training. I talk about that a lot in the IG Mastery course, where, you know, I really go into details on how you can create your accounts within Jarvee, how you can build and grow all your accounts without logging in ever on your phones. That is an awesome thing. But this is a video about the best settings when you get started for beginners. So I want to really just stick with the tools and skip for now all the other great features and options that you need to know. But these are the settings that you have to work with. Before we dive into, if you click on tools, you have an overview of your accounts here. And you know, I can also go, you know, you can type in, you just have your just one account. You know, if I type here online, you will see that it only stays with this one. But I'm just going to show you this here. But before we go, I want you to click here in the bottom. It says manage columns, and just clean clean everything up. So I do name of the account, and these are things for, you know, Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. So we do not want that. We don't need to follow back. Like and comment you can turn on. If you are liking and comment in this video, I'm not gonna do that because like somehow gives a lot of errors. It's proxy related, and I just stopped doing it because it just gives me a big headache of all these errors. And we are liking, but in a different way. So we do not need to have this. Comments, it's optional if you like that. I go over it in our training, but in this training I'm not going to do it because I find it very spammy. Personally, because you never really know what you're commenting on, right? For example, I don't know, maybe somebody posts a very sad something or whatever, and you say, yay, great, you know, or other way around. And it's just, I don't know, it's just, I do not get really good results. You could do it with emoticons and things like that. So their opinions are divided here. I personally do not use comments. Follow, unfollow, repost, direct messaging, or sorry, we need contact members and not direct messaging. We do delete post. Not that I'm using this is on, but I had it before that somehow it turned on because I sometimes use it to delete specific posts. So I do not need to log in on my phone, but I just can look up the post on my desktop and add the URL in here and delete it. But it sometimes happened, I know it happened that I accidentally turned it on. Now I always have a visual that it is on, because if this is on, it will just delete your post and you will have an empty account. Like comments, absolutely recommended to do like comments. And let me see if this wants to go down. Yes, it wants to go down. What else we need? We want a full browser experience. And I don't need this. Don't need this. Mute. I would do it like this. This is how I do it. You can use these to lengthen and widen these areas. But, you know, I want to have it nice and even so I can really see what's going on. And now I can see what tools are on or off. And as you can see here, everything is off. Brand new, just got started, and this is great. So if I just click on this one and the top one, I'm going to show you here that these are the settings when you enter, and you probably have seen that as well. This is default, and I do not recommend to do this if you put sources in here and you just hit stop or start. This, I don't know, well, will not go badly, but you know, you will not go so fast or whatever, and it's not really optimized. So what are the best settings in 2019 for your Jarvee Instagram? Let me go. You can either go back to tools, or you go up here and you have a drop down. Let me pick this one. I worked on it a little bit so I can really show you what I'm doing. So this is what I recommend you to do. This is how I get the best results, and there's a little way when you get started. So for example, actually I had to do this maybe more like this and this. So congratulations, welcome to Jarvee. You added your account, you created an account in IG Tools, and now you added some posts, you created your bio, you did all these things, you have an awesome profile picture, and now you are ready to grow your account, right? So now you're here. What are the best settings? I recommend to do, wait between 2 and 4 minutes between each operation. And an operation is that so Jarvee has all these operations. It can follow, it can unfollow, it can like, it can comment, and each of these things is an operation. And the follow operation, so it will start to follow between 3 and 6 people every time it decides to start the follow operation. So that is an operation, that set moment. And I will wait between 2 and 4 minutes before every follow operation. And Jarvee does many things simultaneously. So it will, it will unfollow, it will follow, it will do all these things together. And if you have multiple accounts, it will do all these things together. And there is also a setting, a place in Jarvee here where you can set and how many operations it will do simultaneously, and you can change that to run your account more smoothly and better results. But now here with follow, so 2 to 4 and 3 to 6, that is what I have found gives the best results. And now this is the thing, I start with 600 to 700. And why? Because I want to, when I get started, and even though if you have, you just get started with Instagram, but your Instagram account is, for example, 2 years old, same thing. It does not matter if you have a very old account or very young account. If you're just adding it to Jarvee, please start slowly. That is the secret. I mean, so many people, I want to rush and I want to have thousands of followers each day, and they crank up the settings, and they, message me 2 days later, hey, my account got suspended. And I said, what are your settings? Well, I was following 1,000 people per day. And I said, yeah, that is not. So Instagram has their bots as well. And or spiders, or I don't know, how do you call them? But they also search for what's going on the accounts. And what the great thing is about Jarvee is that they are so detailed. You can add so many features, or you can really mimic human behavior, and that is something that I really, really like. And that is something that really you can benefit from. And that is why I still believe that Jarvee is the best automation software out there at this moment in 2019. And who knows what will happen in the future. But for now, this is a great setting, a great tool to use. And so make best use of it. So 600 to 700 seconds between each follow. So there will 3 to 6 people per operation, and we'll wait 600 to 700 seconds between each. So 10 minutes over at the end, 10 to 11 minutes between each follow. So it's very long. It really, really mimics. And if you get started, this is what you want. And it just, you can do it all day. There will be a night mode, but that is a different setting somewhere else. I really recommend it to turn on night mode. So that in night, when you're maybe not necessarily your night, but the night of your target audience. If you find that their nighttime, you really have to figure out who your target audience is, right? And if you figure out their nighttime, then, so for example, you live in the Netherlands or in Europe, and your target audience is the United States, or other way around, then you have to figure out what is their nighttime and add that in the night mode. So add a random sleep. This can be really, you have to tweak this as long as along when you start to grow. But wait between 7 and 17 minutes after executing 10 to 20 operations. This will allow you to keep your numbers up, but also mimic some break. You go to the bathroom, or you have a cup of tea, or you do your thing. Stop the tool. This could all be an option. I'm not using that. I do 7 days a week. You can also you turn to off and then either rotate days. I'm not using that. I do not see the difference. You do not really need to do this. If you start to build really, really slowly, you will avoid follow blocks. You will avoid errors if you start building this slowly. So when you get started, and really if you get started, no matter if it's an old account or a new account, start slowly, please. So I'll start between 1 and 50 followers per day. And when I get started, I recommend you do today same. For 3-4 days, just leave it on 50 followers per day. Just let it do its thing. And after those 5 days, you come back, or of course you check in on a daily basis. But after 3-4 days, you start to add 50 a day. Now, what you've noticed up here maybe is that I can only follow 170 people per day. And I say here 1 to 50, but the next day it will be 50 to 100, and then 100 to 150, and I will not manage. So what you need to do as well, when you start to do this, you have to decrease these numbers. So I would go to 500, 600, and as you can see, we all go to this, and maybe this goes too fast. Maybe you go directly to 250, and then 350, and now you already see 350. And now you already see that it's 260. And you just start to lower this until you come to 3060. It should do that. And 36 seconds will allow you to follow up to 787 people per day. We are definitely not doing that. 750 max, I will not go further. Maybe even 700 if you want to do a little bit more safe. 700 max, that will be awesome. So this will be a settings that I use personally. So make sure that you keep an eye on these numbers, decrease these when these increase, or actually when these increase, you have to make sure to decrease, because if you forget to do this, and it says here 400 to 500, and here it only says 150, then it will maximum follow 150 people per day, and it will stop. So that being said, and then but you will see that if we go to tools in the overview, when it would stop, it would turn yellow. It would say, hey, no more to follow. So now it's blue. Perfect. You have yellow. Then it's either reached his maximum. There's no more people to follow. So it's also safe, and it can be red. And if it's red, there is definitely an error. It can be that there is nobody to follow anymore, that your sources run out. It can be that you're blocked. But if you hover over it, the red sign, it will say what's going on. Maybe you're blocked, and it's you're blocked until, and it's mostly 24 hours. If that's the case, just stop the tool and give it 24 hours. If it says, hey, there's no more anymore to follow, go in and check your follow sources, check if everything goes, check if these numbers add. That is the way you can play around with it and make sure everything runs. So let me scroll down. I go always very fast if I do that. Come on. There we go. So enable automatic follow on, follow, don't, send to expect, don't. This I'm not using. So we're going to the filters right now. And these are things that you want to pay good attention. And there are a few options here. Here you see, this is definitely, but it depends on what your target audience is, right? If your audience is specifically really in German and they're all German speaking, then you do not turn this one on, because it does not make sense, right? But my audience is English speaking. Even they live maybe in Germany, they have their accounts in English. So I skip non-English users. That avoids many people that are not my audience. I want to have only follow and work with people that have a profile image. And why? Because I believe that, if somebody is does not have a profile picture, it's not really active, it doesn't want to be seen, or does not want to communicate, so it's not my audience, and therefore I it's not active. It would be a waste of that follow. I'd rather follow and connect with somebody that is active, that is hungry, that is out there, right? So that is definitely one I take. Minimum post, come on. I'm not using that. I tried, but it doesn't make difference. Somebody can be very active or online without posting that much. Or my daughter, for example, she deletes all the posts after 10. You know, so she changes them all the time. She has only 9 or 10 images on her account, and the rest she deletes. But she's very active on Instagram. So I'm not doing that. User and bio must not contain invalid words. You can find them in the description here below. There's a whole list of, well, mostly sexual related words or offending your words that you do not want to have in your account. Or, I mean, you do not want to connect with people that are, well, most likely you do not want to do that. Oh, I'm going up and down. Sorry about that, guys. Let me go a little bit lower. So you find that words, feel free to copy that. You just put them in your account. And so if you have specific words that needs to be in there, of course you can use them on here. But the more specific you get here, the more you will see, you know, your follow sources. The more specific you get, the less results you will have, because it's so narrowed down. But the other end, it can be that the people that you do connect with are really, really targeted and interested in what you want. So user, the raise your item not doing, but this is one I do use and recommend. The user has a number of follower following specific range, 20 to 1500, 20 to 1500. So many followers and so many followings. If you are targeting accounts that have, you know, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, 500,000 followers, or you know, and 700 follow 7,000 people, you will not stand out. Nobody noticed that you started to follow them, right? But if you target smaller accounts and you are number 533, hey, somebody started to follow me. Somebody's really eager and growing their account still and is out there and, you know, loves to reach out and check, and that will bring them to your account. And if your bio is appealing and speaks to them, you have your right target audience, they will, hey, man, you know, follow your call to action and click the link in your bio and follow where you want them to go. Sounds great? Awesome. User posted within the last 30 days. This is optional. You want then somebody who's active, you know, who posts themselves well, but this is not necessary. So you can either trick this on to test it. It does not always work, but you know, this filters a little bit more that you reach out to people that are active themselves. But it's not important. You want somebody who's active on Instagram, but not necessarily needs to post themselves. You know, I read the average American adult that is active on Instagram spends 55 minutes per day on Instagram. Madness, right? That is a long time. So that is a great opportunity for you. If you also think that there are over 1 billion people active on Instagram and over 500 million are active on a daily basis. So, you know, this is a great platform to market and to monetize and really make a great income. User are not following this account. I'm doing that. So if if it's already following and you unfollow, you do not want to follow them again because they're already following you. So you want to skip that, or else you will unfollow, and that, you know, you don't want that. User posted, does not necessary. So these are things that you can think about. Skip accounts with a website, or just follow only accounts with a website, or skip accounts with a phone number, only follow accounts with a phone number. It depends on what your business is, right? If you have, for example, an Instagram training for business owners, then you might want to have you know, only accounts with a website, or only follow business accounts, or only, you see, or with a public email. So these are things that you need to test and figure out. So I have not ticked them because there is not a specific okay, do this and then create. It depends on what your target audience is. I hope this makes sense. If not, drop the question here below in the comments below this video, and I'll try to explain it a little bit more in depth if necessary. Follow, only males, only females, both, all. Some accounts have not registered what they are, so you can also follow them. First I thought, what is both male, and then it's suddenly the same, but it's like that. If you have a specific language, pick them out here, even Breton, really specific. So I target English. If you do Spanish here, and you make sure that you do not tick this box. If you do Spanish, you should not skip non-English speakers, because then you will target Spanish people, but you also skip them because they are not English. Make sense? So you don't want that, right? So now here, what do we do after we follow them? No, I don't want this. So skip wait time when no more results. It just continues instead of getting stuck there. And like users post, the latest post. So I wait between 3 and 10 seconds before each like. That is pretty by default, but make sure that there's only one. I do not do more. I like, this is all great, 0, 0, 0, so one post. But not like random posts, I do them latest. And this is what I do. Sometimes you're human, you're on Instagram, you're doing your thing, you're following and unfollowing, but sometimes you come on an account and you see this amazing post and you like it and you think, cool, this has great content, I follow them. But sometimes you first follow them and then check out more of their content and then like. So you want to mimic that. So now I say 65% of my posts like before I follow. So let's say I follow 100 people. Then this tool now will say 65 of those 100, I first like their image, and then I start to follow them. And the 35 that are left, I first follow them, and then like their image. And of everything, I only like 65%. So of the 100 accounts, I only like a 65 account, I like an image. And of that 65%, I divide that before and after in 65%. So 65% of, I hope that makes sense. The 65% of the 65% I follow before, and 35% of the 65% I follow after. Anyway, I recommend this because that mimics human behavior. That is, we do not always do the same. We do not always follow, like. Sometimes we do like, follow. So that is what, and I find this most comfortable settings. I do not comment. I do not send direct messaging after follow. I do send out a direct messaging after they follow back. So I always send a new welcome message to a new follower. But first I want them to follow back. And that is in different settings that you will do that in contact. So, mute after follow. You could do this if you want to keep your feed a little bit more clean. You could mute, you follow them, and then you mute them. The effect is that you will not see their posts. It makes for you personal, but it's not necessarily, does not have any effect in growth or whatsoever. I do recommend to remove poor quality source. What this will do, you have your source, and we come into that a little bit after this. Follow sources. If they do not follow you back, so if the follow ratio is lower than 0.15, so I will show you. And if people not following you back, you're connecting with the wrong people, and you should take it out and replace it. But in this case, now Jarvee will keep an eye on it, and after 1,500 follows of those, if the ratio is lower than the 0.15, it will delete the source. So that is actually great. Then you you have to find it. You don't have to really pay attention to it. Remove source which search takes too long. You could do that. Not allow, not perfect. So I'm just checking, you know, but these I'm not using. So do not remove, yeah, where they remove, and you can do not allow adding sources that are previously removed. So if account A has been removed, and in a later stadium you think you do your research again, hey, that's a cool account to follow, and you want to add them back, and Jarvee will say, hey, you can't do that. You previously used this account, and the results were not great, so you cannot add them back. And if you think, yeah, but now I changed and I do it, then you just, you know, clear removed sources and you can add them again. So now you've set everything up. I recommend, if you have multiple accounts, that your follow sources will always be different. So what you can do greatly here is you just go to copy settings. You have your 10 accounts or 15 accounts you've already set up. The only thing that you need to do, you maybe not start stop file because you have not your sources in here, but you want to have your tool settings. You just have to select them all, or, you know, specifics, and then you do OK, and then it will copy these settings exactly to the other accounts. So done. You do the work for one account and it's all done in a way that it's that easy. So another thing, let's go to, oh, of course, follow sources. So follow sources. Really do your research in who are you going to follow. You know, with whom are you going to connect? Where is your target audience? Where is your customer? Think about that. This tool here, users and hashtags, is a great one. So you know, if you want to rush, especially if you have more and more accounts, what you can do is, you know, maybe you have a specific account that you really like. I don't know, we have Tony Robbins, right? I'm just taking one very generic. I don't know if this is account. Yeah, I would not take this one because it's way too big. Tony Robbins quotes, interesting. I know, but for example, you could, you know, you take this one. I do not recommend to use Tony Robbins because it's so broad, it's so wide, it's so... Anyway. What you will do, you find your account, you think, hey, you know, this account really appeals to me, this resonates with me, my audience will like this as well. I'm sure my audience is in here as well. You know, I'm gonna put that account in here and make sure that it's an account of, you know, 50 to 100, 200,000 followers, not bigger than that. So this is a 3 million, it doesn't make sense. But you put your account in here, and so maybe I take... let me see. So 1686, Brazil, official Brazil. So untag that one, Brazil. I will do this, and then I will just go Brazil's official. Yeah. So I will do its research, and then you get all these accounts that are similar, right? So what I will do is I copy all, and I go back to follow. And I go back to sources, and I go to below here, follow users that interact with posts on target accounts, and I want to do follow by username, followers of target accounts. I recommend you to start below here, and 4200, 4200, that is roughly 3 days, 1440, 2828, 2880, and then roughly 4200, and then I would go and paste them in here, and I already see that doesn't make sense, but I will add them, and now you will see that it will create a list down below here with all these things. Now tick here on number of followers, just, you know, on here, just tick them, and I don't want to be impatient, but I'll do it again. Yes, so now it's smallest, and I click it again. So I will not follow Instagram, the account. I will not follow Ariana Grande. You know, way too big, way too big, way too big. And I'm doing it really, really often. You do your research, right? Make sure and check these accounts. Do they resonate with you? And think 7 million. I would stay. See, this was just not a great option because there's nothing left, and 271 is the smallest. So do your research, but I hope you get it. This can be a really great tool to help you figure out who to follow. But you get a list roughly that are account that's similar to the account that you are following, right? Or that you resonate with. So, but then you could just go in and out, in and out, in and out. I would suggest, you know, stick with accounts to 200, 250, max 300,000 if it really resonates with you, and not below the 50,000 because that is, they get too small, you run through it, and it's. So now you have this, and now you copy all usernames, and now we go up. So now we have a new list copied, or a smaller list, and I paste them in here. And then I add them here. And now you see that, did it right? Yeah. So now it copies in here. And I actually forgot to tell you one, so I just clear. First, I copy it in here. And I go here and put this on 8. So what it will do, it will start to follow with people that interact, follow, or like or comment on these accounts. These are people that are active, right? These are responsive. These are out there on Instagram. So you want to engage with them first. And if you run through them and there's no one to follow, it will go here because it will prioritize. It says 10. It will prioritize the people that interact. And then after that, and this is set on 8, it will work with them. Then you simply go back, scroll up, and scroll the way up, and then just turn it on like this. But I'm just going to leave it out because the sources are not really great. And then you go to, no, we have follow source, and the thing that you want to do is results. And results, here you can see a lot, you can see what's going on. You want to see show the follow back ratio, but you're not sure I have to be in here because it's, you know, it's the things. You can also be here in follow sources. You'll see here the follow back ratio by itself. It will build up slowly, and there you will see what's going on your account. So you will see that once it's running and once there things are going on, you see here the 0.001 and 0. Well, you know, it should all be above the 0.15. But Jarvee will take care of that. If it had followed 1,000 people of these, what did we say? No, 1,500 of, you know, 1,500 followers in this account, and your follow back ratio is below 0.15, it will put an exclamation mark in here, and it will delete it. So what's next? We need to go to Unfollow. So here we are in Unfollow, and this is very basic. For Unfollow, I recommend to 1 to 2.5 or 3, and not more than that. You can also do a 1-on-1, but you know, people are sometimes not online. Maybe they have I don't know, a day off or something, and then they didn't check their email. Or like me, I live in Costa Rica, and sometimes the power goes out and there's no internet, so I didn't check my account. But I'm very your target audience, but I did not have the chance to follow you back. So. So I recommend to 2.5 days to really give people the time to see that you follow them and interact with you. So then wait between 2 and 5 minutes, and the operations is that, you know, I already explained that. Wait between 2 and 5 minutes and follow between 4 and 9 people per operation, per run. So with a delay of 38 to 70 seconds, again, if you just get started, you know, you could lower this number, and really to avoid errors, what you can do is you have to increase this now here to 600, 700, something like that. Yeah. And again, in the beginning, when you get started, first start to follow, and you know, follow for 3-4 days. And after 3-4 days, you will turn on Unfollow as well. And then you'll have this turn on. But in the end, you will always want to unfollow more than that you follow, right? Because you can only follow 7,500 people. And you don't want to reach that number. You want to stay far away, far below that number. So, yeah. When you start, make sure that you decrease this number as you start here. So when I start, after 4 days, I would unfollow 25 to 75 people, a little bit more, and then you turn it on, increase it to with 50 per day, with a maximum of 800 per day. So this will not be reachable with this, but if you change it in the end to this, you will see that it is 845. It's over it, so you will reach your number. Oh, I went too fast here. So that is that. If you want to use the filters, unfollow all users followed by Jarvee. So make sure to tick this one. All that you follow Jarvee did for you, they will also unfollow. And I don't see point for delay unfollow followers. You just want to continue doing that, follow, unfollow, and on a continuous basis. And especially if you have so this is optional. If you have an older account and have been, maybe you used follow like or a different bot or no bot at all, but you did it manually. And you also want to unfollow those people. Well, maybe you're already at 5,000. You're following 5,000 people. You want to lower that as well, or else you will always stick. You only have that 2,000 Mars, so you want to lower that. So definitely tick this box. If you have specific users that you absolutely do not want to unfollow ever, copy their URL, their things, and then you say do not use whitelist. You can add, so you can either auto-extract users that followed outside of Jarvee, so you do not do this one, and then you would, maybe your closest friends or business relations you followed manually. Jarvee will extract those and put them in here, and will not unfollow them ever. Or you just then you need to do this. And if you do it manually, you add them manually in here and add the username. Add their usernames in here and they will not be unfollowed. So that you know that is possible. So let's go up here, outside ratio again. I unfollow everyone because I already have this ratio specific range in the follow settings. And I do not unfollow likers that liked any of our last 12 posts, and I do not unfollow commenters that because you want to have more engagement. So you want to keep the people that are active on your account, that like your content, really to stick around and keep commenting and liking your posts. So I would definitely recommend to do those. DMers I do unfollow because you get so much spam as well, so you don't want them. Do not unfollow story viewers, or if you add the stories, and you do not unfollow them as well. They are more engaged. They take the time to watch your. But these are also options. But I would definitely recommend to do these. And do not let's say their post. That is that. So whitelist I spoke about, and that is that. And again, you can just do copy settings, and you're good to go. So guys, these are the settings that you really can start with as a beginner. Really start to follow and unfollow and grow your accounts in that way. If you want to, learn more and really want to dive into Jarvee as a professional, as an advanced marketer, as a someone who goes for it and really wants to go for it and learn the details of Jarvee, and how to, for example, global tools here, how you can grow your create new accounts within Jarvee. Just how you can add accounts like this and just grow them and create them, and without the hassle of all these things, and how you create awesome email accounts, unlimited email addresses that you can use to build this. More settings, the settings that you need to pay attention for. I have to go through this. This is really new, but you want to social platforms. You want to go in Instagram. You want to, for example, this limit number of current accounts at 30. You need to have that at least on well, it depends on how many accounts it is, but and how that works. I go over that and you see, but all these things add up to to have. Run everything smoothly, without errors, without being blocked, without being the hassle that you maybe experience already in social automation. Proxy managers, what proxies do you use? There is so much, like Exchange, how can you really boost the engagement on your account. Using like exchange by, you know, exchanging social media platforms. If that is something that you want to learn, then I really recommend, let's dive into it. Let me show you here, guys, the Insta traffic selling system, the IG mastery course, the Instagram mastery course. Is a course that I created, and let me show you a little bit the inside here, because you know, you come here, these are students. Feel free to watch her. It's a great results, Lynn, and it is just a great experience also for me. We have so many happy students, and if we go here inside the training, I really take you by the hand and have an introduction how you set up your Instagram accounts from A to Z, you know, really the myth, the algorithms, and finding your audience, and also hashtags. You know, this question about hashtags, how do you use hashtags for your Instagram accounts and for your business? How does that work? Here you'll find everything you need to know. I also take you by the hand, the best settings, the VPS, what kind of VPS do you need? Because you want to run Jarvee in a virtual desktop, not on your computer. Please do not run Jarvee on your computer itself. Your results will not be that great because you turn off your computer, or like me, a power failure, and then it stops. You never want it to stop. You want it to run 24/7. That I'll take you all, you know, from follow, unfollow, liking comments, all the options that you have. I go through it, and of course, like I said, you know, commenting, I personally do not use it, but some things you have great results with it, and but I do show you exactly what settings to use and how you can use it properly. Also, phone verifications. If you get stuck, you have multiple accounts. You know, you cannot have 10 phone numbers by yourself. So how do you do this? And all these kind of things I mention here. We have, like I said, a Freedom Lifestyles Academy mastermind and coaching group. You get free lifetime access to it. You can, I welcome you on a weekly basis to mastermind with me and really dive deeper into Instagram marketing, especially in affiliate marketing for Instagram, you know, or a multi-level marketing business. How can you set up your funnels and like that? That is also what I talk about here, management. Anyway, here, funnels, I show you exactly what funnels you can use. You can even copy my funnel exactly and build from there, from scratch. So that being said, you know, below this video, you'll find the link to the course Freedom Lifestyles Academy, to the IG Mastery course. Get your hands on it if you really want to move forward. And it's always up to date. It's always I always test myself and create new content for this course. And I just love to work with you. So that being said, guys, if you found value in this video, give me a thumbs up. And make sure to subscribe to the Freedom Lifestyles Academy YouTube channel so you always stay updated. If you have any questions whatsoever, drop them below here in the comment section. And I'll see you in the next video. Have an awesome day, guys. Ciao.